Good morning students. I am Rama Devi, working as a chemistry faculty in Target English Medium School at Tadipatri. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss about the solutions. What are solutions and what are the types of solutions? Yes, in past videos, is matter pure chapter for 9th class students. In is matter pure chapter, I clearly explained what is the meaning of matter and the matter existed in how many states. That matter around us can be existed in how many states. In previous 8th standard only we are clearly understand in the matter around us chapter. What are the solids, liquids, gases, properties in that. Based on that chapter only, again some application oriented, they are give the is matter pure chapter. In this chapter, we shall discuss about already in past video, what are mixtures and what are homogeneous mixtures, heterogeneous mixtures and what are the example also we are clearly understood. Are you understand students? Homogeneous mixtures means same. The components must be uniformly distributed throughout the mixture. That is homogeneous mixture. Sugar and water, lemonade, these are the example for homogeneous mixtures. Next, heterogeneous. Hetero means what? Different. The components composition is not uniformly distributed in the mixture. Is known as the heterogeneous mixture. Example, oil and water means oil with water, naphthalene with water, naphthalene balls, kerosene with water. These are the examples for heterogeneous mixture. In past video only I clearly explained about this classification of mixtures. Now, what is meant by solution and how we can classify the solutions into different types. What are solutions? Solutions. The components are substances. The components are substances. Two or more than two types are presented. That components we cannot separate it easily by the filtration process. Such solutions are known as, such mixtures are known as solutions. Again I repeat it. In a homogeneous mixture, two or more than two types of substances are presented. That substances or components cannot be separated easily by the filtration process is known as the solution. I write here. The homogeneous mixture contain two or more substances that which we cannot separate it, that which we cannot separated, which we cannot separate it by the filtration process. Are you understand students? So solutions are homogeneous mixtures. In that homogeneous mixture, how many components are presented? Either two components or more than two types of components are presented. Either two or more than two components are presented. Either components or substances. In that homogeneous mixture, we cannot separate the components which are presented in it. Are you understand? A homogeneous mixture is there. In that homogeneous mixture, how many components are presented? Either two or more than two. That components are easily cannot be separated by the which process? By the filtration process. That homogeneous mixture is known as solutions. Are you understand? The homogeneous mixture contains two or more substances that which we cannot separated by the filtration process. That mixture is known as, that homogeneous mixture is known as solution. Is called solution. Are you understand students? Solution is a homogeneous mixture which contain two or more than two substances or components are presented. The components are not easily separated by the filtration process is known as the solution. Okay. Examples. Sugar solution. Sugar solution was prepared by using sugar and water. By using sugar and water. We have to prepare the sugar solution by using sugar and water. Next. In tincture of iodine. Tincture of iodine is also prepared by using iodine and alcohol. Iodine and alcohol. Here two components are presented. Here also two components are presented. These two components are not easily separated by the filtration process. This type of homogeneous mixtures are known as the solutions. So, any solution containing maximum means any components are presented. That components are mainly classified into two types. One is the solvent, another one is the solute. One is the solvent, another one is the solute. So, a solution must be contain the two components mainly. Okay, those are one is solvent, another one is a solute. What is solvent? What is solute? I will say. Now I said any type of solution must be contain mainly two parts, not components, two parts. One is the solvent part, another one is the solute part. Means the solution contain mainly how many parts? Two parts. The solution can be classified into two parts. One is the solvent, another one is the solute. Okay. What is meant by solvent? Now we have to see. What is the meaning of solvent? Again I will. What is the meaning of solvent? The component of the solution. The component of the solution that which dissolves the other component in it. The component of the solution that which dissolves the other component in it. The component of the solution which dissolves the other component in it is known as the solvent, or simply we are called as the substance which is present in larger quantity in a solution is known as the solvent. The substance which is present larger in quantity in the solution is known as the solvent. Means more amount of component is nothing but it is considered as solvent. Okay. What is meant by solvent? The component in the solution the component in the solution that the component in the solution that dissolves the other component in it is known as solvent. Is known as solvent. Or the component which is larger in quantity. The component which is larger in quantity in the solution is also known as solvent. Is known as solvent. Are you understand, students? There are two definitions are there for the solvent. What are those? What is solvent means? In a solution, mainly two parts are presented. One is solvent, two is solute. Solvent is the first part, solute is the second part. What is the meaning of solvent means? The component which is larger in quantity in a solution is also known as the solvent. For example, in a solution which is more quantity, that is considered as solvent, which is lesser quantity, that is considered as solute. Are you understand? Now I will say solute, after that I will give example. Through the examples only we are clearly understood. What is solute? Now only I said the component which is lesser in quantity in a solution is known as the solute, which is lesser in quantity. Solute is lesser in quantity in a particular solution is known as the solute. Or otherwise, one more definition for the solute means the component that dissolves in the solvent is also known as the solute. The component that dissolves in the solvent. The component that dissolves in the solvent is known as solute, or otherwise the component which is lesser in quantity in a solution is also known as the solute. Are you understand, students? Solution containing mainly two parts. One is the solvent, another one is the solute. What is the meaning of solvent? Simply I said to you. The component which is larger in quantity is known as the component which is larger in quantity in a particular solution is known as the solvent. What is meant by solute? The component which is lesser in quantity means smaller in quantity in a particular solution is known as the solute. Solvent is more in quantity, solute is lesser in quantity. That is the difference between solvent and solute which are presented in a particular solution. Are you understand? Now I will give some examples to you. By using that examples you can clarify it. So solvent is larger in quantity. Otherwise, which dissolves the other component in it. What is that component? Solute. Solute is dissolved in the solvent always. Why? Because solute is a small quantity, solvent is a more quantity. Now only I said first example. In sugar solution, which is the solvent, which is the solute? What is the solvent? Solvent is water. What is the solute? Solute is sugar. Are you understand, students? Why? Because in sugar solution we have to take less in quantity is sugar, more in quantity is water compared to the sugar. Compulsory water is more in quantity always. That is in sugar solution. In tincture of iodine, what is the solvent? Alcohol. Alcohol is the solvent. What is the solute? Iodine. Do you saw the or do you listen the name of tincture of iodine? Tincture of iodine. For any accidents are occurred or any wound. For example, accidentally any wound will be caused means we have to clean first that wound. That is nothing but tincture of iodine. Tincture. Do you call the tincture? That is tincture of iodine. Iodine is mixed in the alcohol. Iodine is the solute. Alcohol is the solvent. In all aerated drinks. Do you know what are aerated drinks? Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They are filled with gas or not? Those are called as aerated drinks. Means air filled drinks. Solvent is water. In that. What is solute? Carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay. This is not only this example. In salt solution, salt is a solute, water is the solvent. Okay. So these are the examples for solutions and what are the solute and what is the solvent. Are you understand? Again I repeat it. Solvent is larger in quantity, solute is lesser in quantity. These are mainly two parts in the solution. When these two parts are combined within the one homogeneous mixture, that is called solution. And also you have to write simply what is the solution means. The mixture of solvent and solute. The mixture of solvent and solute is also known as the solution. Okay. So in sugar solution, what is the solvent? Water. Why? Because it is more in quantity. What is the solute? Sugar. Why? Because it is less in quantity. In tincture of iodine also, alcohol is the solvent, iodine is the solute. In aerated drinks nothing but air-filled drinks, nothing but Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, whatever it may be, Limca. These are air-filled drinks. What is the air? Carbon dioxide. So, water is the solvent, carbon dioxide is the solute. These are the examples for solvent and solute. Now, what are the properties of solution means? In a solution, the particles are presented or the components are presented. That particle's size is very too small, but that's why we cannot see by using our naked eye. The particle size in the solution is very too small. That's why we cannot see by using our naked eye, means visible eye. By using our eyes, we cannot able to see the particles in a particular solution. They do not scatter a beam of light also. That's why the path where they can move from one place to another place, the path is also not visible to our naked eye. That's why we cannot able to see the particles in a solution. What is the property? Main property means the particles presented in a solution are not able to see by using our naked eye. That's why the path is not visible. Why? Because the particles do not scatter a beam of light. The particles do not scatter a beam of light. Later I will give information. What is the scattering of light? In Tyndall effect I will give information totally. That is called Tyndall effect. Later I will give to you information. Okay. So the particles in a solution are not visible by using our naked eye because that particles do not scatter a beam of light. That's why the path which they are moved is not visible by using our naked eye, means visible length. Okay, that is the main property of the solution. Those are too small to visible by using our naked eye. Okay, that's why we cannot able to see. Next, concentration of a solution. Concentration of a solution. How can we determine a solution concentration? The concentration of a solution is mainly depend upon its solubility. The concentration of a solution is mainly depends upon its solubility. What is meaning of the solubility? Again I repeated, the concentration of a solution was mainly depends upon its solubility. What is the meaning of solubility means? The amount of solute present in a saturated solution. The amount of solute present in a saturated solution at certain temperature. The amount of solute present in a saturated solution at certain temperature is called its solubility. At that temperature. Are you understand, students? The concentration of a solution was mainly depends upon its solubility. What is the meaning of solubility means? The amount of solute. What is the solute also I will give. The amount of solute present in a saturated solution at certain temperature is known as the solubility of that solution at particular temperature. It is called solubility at that temperature. Are you understand? The solubility of a solution is nothing but the amount of solute present in a saturated solution at certain temperature. is saturated solution and what is unsaturated solution? Now I will give you information. Before going to saturated and unsaturated solution, again the concentration of your solution is mainly depend upon the solute quantity in a saturated solution. Okay, the amount of solute presented in the saturated solution depending upon the amount of solute that point. Depending upon the amount of solute that point, we can classify the solutions into two types. One is diluted solution, another one is concentrated solution. Solutions are classified into two types depending upon the amount of solute. Depending upon the amount of solute. Okay. Solutions are classified into two types. One is diluted solutions, another one is concentrated. CONC means concentrated solutions. Solutions I simply write like this. SOLN. Okay. Solutions can be classified into two types. One is diluted solutions, another one is concentrated solutions. This classification depending upon the amount of solute. Okay. This classification depending upon the amount of solute. Depending upon the amount of solute, the solutions can be classified into diluted solutions and concentrated solutions. What are diluted and what are concentrated? What are diluted solutions? What are concentrated solutions mean? By using one example, I can clarify what are diluted solutions and what are concentrated solutions. Example 1. Take 1 gram of sugar. Take 1 gram of sugar in a beaker. Take 1 gram of sugar in a beaker. For that beaker, add 50 ml of water. For that, add 50 ml of water. That is first example. Example 2. Okay. In first example, we have to take what ma? Take 1 gram of sugar in a beaker. For that beaker, we have to add or pour 50 ml of water. 50 ml of water. Okay. Now take in another beaker. Take 30 grams of sugar. In another beaker, take 30 grams of sugar. Same. Add same amount of water, that is 50 ml of water. Are you understand, students? We have to take two beakers. In first beaker, we have to take 1 gram of sugar plus 50 ml of water. 1 gram of sugar and 50 ml of water. But in second beaker, we have to take 30 grams of sugar, but same quantity of water, that is 50 ml of water. Now can you say which is called a diluted solution and which is called a concentrated solution? Yes, we have clarified. First one is called diluted solutions. Second one is called concentrated solutions. Why these are called diluted solutions? Because the solutions which contain less solute, more solvent are called diluted solutions. Less amount of solute but more amount of solvent is known as the which one? Diluted solutions. What are concentrated solutions? Solute is more, solvent is less. Are you understand? Okay. Depending upon the amount of solute in a saturated solution, we can classify the solutions into two types. One is diluted solution, another one is the concentrated solution. Here, I will take two examples. What are those means? Take two beakers. In first beaker, we have to take 1 gram of sugar plus 50 ml of water. That is called diluted solution. Why? Because 1 gram of sugar is easily dissolved in the 50 ml of water, and also the solute quantity is very less compared to the solvent. But in second beaker, we have to take the 30 grams of sugar plus same 50 ml of water. Here the solution is very diluted. Diluted means more water is there. Concentrated means compared to the water, solute is more. That is called concentrated solution. Nothing but what we have to say in normal way, in normal language. Chikkani paalu, neella paalu. Chikkani paalu means concentrated solutions, concentrated milk. Okay, and neella paalu means diluted milk. Nothing but water is more in that milk. But here water is there, but very less in quantity water. Only milk quantity is more. Are you understand? Milk plus water. Water quantity is more means that is diluted milk. Here concentrated milk means water. Milk is more compared to the water. That is nothing but in our language I said that neella paalu and chikkani paalu like it. So 1 gram of sugar plus 50 ml of water. 30 grams of sugar plus 50 ml of water. First one is example for diluted solutions. Second one is example for concentrated solutions. These are diluted, but these are concentrated solutions. Are you understand, students? Solutions can be classified into two types depending upon the amount of solute. One is diluted, another one is concentrated. Okay, 1 gram of sugar plus 50 ml of water is example for diluted because solute quantity is very less compared to the solvent. But concentrated means so 30 grams of sugar plus 50 ml of water is example for concentrated solutions because 30 grams of water is more quantity compared to the 50 ml of water. Yes. One more classification of solutions depending upon the same amount of solutes. Already I said one classification, that is diluted solutions and concentrated solutions. But here again one more classification. Those are now I said the one point, saturated solutions and also unsaturated solutions. Again solutions can be classified into two types. Same depending upon the amount of solute. Those are saturated solutions and unsaturated solutions. Saturated, unsaturated. What is meant by saturated solutions? Very important for 2 marks. What are saturated solutions? What are unsaturated solutions? Okay. What is meant by saturated solution means when no more solute, present in the solution, or when no more solute is dissolving in a solution at certain temperature level is also known as saturated solution. When no more solute dissolving in the solution at certain temperature is said to be saturated solution. Are you understand, students? When no more solute is dissolving in the particular solution at certain temperature level, that solution is known as the saturated solution. Or simply I will say another definition. If no more solute is presented in the solution for dissolving, if no more solute is presented in the solution for dissolving purpose is also known as the saturated solution. Means in a saturated solution there is no solute presented for the dissolving purpose at certain temperature level. That type of solutions are known as saturated solution. Means we can say simply the saturated solutions. The saturated solutions cannot hold more solute. Cannot hold more solute. Okay. At certain temperature level. The saturated solutions cannot hold more solute at certain temperature level. Are you understand? Saturated means completely dissolved. There is no more solute presented for further purpose of dissolving. Are you understand, students? For example, take 100 ml of water. For that, add 20 grams of sugar. What happen after some time? The 20 grams of sugar is dissolving or not? In the 100 ml of water. completely it was dissolving. Still some amount of sugar is presented in the solution? No. That type of solutions are examples for the saturated solutions. Yes. Now unsaturated solutions means opposite. Unsaturated solutions means if some amount of solute is presented, in a particular solution for dissolving purpose is known as unsaturated solution. If some amount of solute is presented, that solution level is lesser than the saturation level. Are you understand? If there is some amount of solute is presented in the saturated solutions are known as unsaturated solutions. Are you understand? Still some amount of solute is presented for dissolving purpose. That type of solutions are known as unsaturated solutions. If some amount of solute present in the solution, the type of solutions are known as the unsaturated solution. Is less than the saturation level at certain temperature. Saturation level. Again I repeat it. If some amount of solute is presented in the particular solution is less than the its saturation level. Means that solution saturation level is less than the its saturation level is known as or is said to be unsaturated solution. Means still some amount of solute is presented in a saturated solutions are known as the unsaturated solutions. For example, now only I said example. Take 100 ml of water, add 50 grams of sugar. Add 20 grams of sugar is completely dissolving. Add 100 grams of sugar in 100 ml of water. Is easily dissolving? Okay, it is also dissolving. Add 500 grams of sugar in 100 ml of water. Is it possible for dissolving? Even though we are stirring, even though we are heated, still some amount of solute is presented for dissolving purpose in that solution. That's why the type of solutions are called unsaturated solutions. Okay. Solute is equal for the solvent means solute is readily dissolved in the solvent are known as saturated, but still some amount of solute is dissolving. Still some amount of solute is presented for dissolving purpose in a particular saturated solution are known as the unsaturated solutions. Unsaturation, not completely dissolving. Okay, still some amount of solute is presented. Now I told what are the factors for dissolving. Now I said sugar is dissolving, still some amount of solute is presented like that. What are the factors which can affect the rate of dissolving? The factors affecting the rate of dissolving process. The rate of dissolving process can be affected by which factors? I'll say one activity for this. By using this activity, we are clearly understand. Take 3 beakers. For example, these are the 3 beakers. These are the 3 beakers, no? The 3 beakers, take 100 ml of water. In all beakers, take 100 ml of water. 20 grams of sugar plus means add. Take 3 beakers. We have to take the equal quantity of 3 beakers. Take 100 ml of water to there. This is the water level for this. And for this we have to add water 20 grams of sugar. 20 grams of sugar. We have to add the sugar. How much? 20 grams of water. Water also equal quantity. Sugar is also equal quantity. We have to take it in 3 beakers. 1, 2, 3. Beaker 1, beaker 2, beaker 3. 3 beakers we have to take. Now, first beaker we have to add the sugar. In second beaker also we have to add the sugar. In third beaker also we have already added the sugar. But you add the sugar to first beaker and keep it undisturbed. Keep it side for undisturbing. You cannot disturb the first beaker. Just add and keep it side. Keep it side. For second beaker, by using a glass rod, we have to stir the sugar in the water. Whatever we have to add in the sugar, whatever sugar we have to add in the second beaker, take a glass rod. By using that glass rod, you have to stir it. The sugar particles are must be stirred by using a glass rod. In third beaker, same amount of sugar also we are added already. In third beaker, the third beaker gently heated by using Bunsen burner. The third beaker is gently heated by using Bunsen burner. Again I repeat it. Take 3 beakers. In the 3 beakers, take 100 ml of water, equal quantity of 100 ml of water in 3 beakers. Add 20 grams of sugar in all 3 beakers. In first beaker, we have to add the 20 grams of sugar and keep it aside without disturbing. But in second beaker, add the 20 grams of sugar and by using glass rod you have to stir it. Okay, stirring. In third beaker, the third beaker gently heated by using Bunsen burner. Means second beaker is a stirring, third beaker is a heating. But first beaker we cannot disturb it. Without undisturbing we have to keep the, without disturbing we have to keep the aside, the first beaker mainly. Now, can you say in which beaker sugar is fastly dissolved? Can you say the answer? In which beaker the sugar particles are easily dissolving? Third beaker. Why? Because third beaker, first beaker, second beaker. We have to add the same 20 grams of sugar. But in third beaker, we have to what we have to done? We have to heat the beaker. Heating process means the particles get the heat energy and quickly dissolving or not? Yes, quickly dissolving. After the third beaker, which is fastly dissolved? In second beaker, the sugar particles are easily dissolved. But in first beaker, it takes some more time. Why? Because after adding the sugar, we cannot stir it, we cannot heat the beaker. Just we have to keep it side. That's why in first beaker, the sugar particles for dissolving, it will take more time. But in second beaker, okay. But in third beaker, fastly the sugar particles are dissolved. Why? Because in third beaker, we can apply the heat. In second beaker, we can apply the stirring process. But in first beaker, we cannot apply any process in that. Just we can keep side. That's why it takes more time. So, what are the factors affecting the rate of dissolving? By this activity, we are concluded. Stirring process is one of the factors. Next, heating process is one of the factors. And also size of the particles. These are the 3 factors which can affect the rate of dissolving. Rate of dissolving in which beaker is fast? In third beaker is a fast is there. Third beaker fastly dissolving the particles. Why? Because we have to apply the heat for this process. We have to apply the stirring here. We cannot disturb this beaker, just keep it aside. That's why it takes too much time. The rate of dissolving is more in third beaker than second and first. Are you understand? So, the rate of dissolving is depends upon mainly 3 factors. Those are ones, size of the particles, means sugar particle size. Large crystals of sugar means takes more time. Small fine sugar particle means take less time for dissolving. Next, stirring. Next, heating or temperature. factors which can affect the rate of dissolving. Are you understand? One is the size of the particles, two is the stirring, three is the heating or temperature. These are the three factors which can affect the rate of dissolving. Are you understand? Okay, the rate of dissolving is more when size of the particles is less, and when stirring is more, means we can apply the stirring process, and also when temperature is more. Are you understand? Size of the particles is less is there, the rate of dissolving is more. Stirring is there, the rate of dissolving is more. If you apply the temperature to the beaker, the rate of dissolving is also more. Okay, that's why we can take the three beakers, take the equal quantity of water and sugar, but first beaker we can keep aside without disturbing. But in second beaker you have to stir the sugar particles. In third beaker you can apply the temperature. So observe what happened there. In third beaker the sugar particles are quickly dissolved, means fastly dissolved. Why? Because in third beaker we can apply the heat. Okay. In second beaker also it was quickly dissolved, but compared to third beaker, in first and the second beaker, it takes some time. That's why the rate of dissolving is depend upon mainly three factors. One is size of the particles, two is stirring process, three is heating or temperature. Now, today in this video, we have to explain what means. First topic is what are solutions and what are the types of solutions. Solutions are mainly contained in two parts. One is the solute, another one is the solvent. Carefully listen, students. Solute is smaller quantity, solvent is more in quantity. For example, in sugar solution, sugar is act as a solute, water is act as a solvent. Next, depending upon the amount of solute, we can classify the solutions into two types. One is diluted solutions, another one is concentrated solution. If solute is less compared to solvent are known as diluted. 1 gram of sugar with 30 ml of water. Concentrated solutions means solute is more compared to the solvent. 30 grams of sugar in 50 ml of water. Not only 30 grams, you have to take whatever example, no problem. What I said you follow strictly, that one not. You have to take any example also. 1 gram of sugar in 50 ml of water means not exactly. 2 grams of sugar in 60 ml of water. That is also no problem. Are you understand, students? Yes. That is depending upon the amount of solute. We can classify two, diluted, concentrated. Again, depending upon the amount of solute only, we can classify again the solutions into two types. One is saturated, another one is unsaturated. There is no more solute for dissolving are known as saturated solutions, but still some amount of solute is presented for dissolving purpose. Any particular solutions are known as unsaturated solutions. These are the classification of solutions.